On this edition of Kababayan Today, for Mentor Mondays, Major General Tony Taguba shares insight on caregiving and living healthy even as you get older. He shares that with us on the show. That's all next on Kababayan Today. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Ikinagagalak kong ipakilala sa inyo ang ating susunod na guest ngayong araw na ito. Si Major General Tony Taguba is retired 7 years ago, having served 34 years in active duty. Born in Manila, Philippines, he's received numerous military awards to include the Army Distinguished Service Medal, the Legion of Merit, the Bronze Star Medal, Meritorious Service Media, the Office of the Secretary of Defense Identification Badge, the Army Staff Identification Badge. Nako, I could go on and on. He's here to talk about living in America, as well as why he's an advocate for caregivers and their families, as well as sharing advice as he wishes to share advice to all of us about taking care of your parents, di ba? Mga kababayan, nandito po Major General Tony Taguba. Maraming salamat po, Tito Tony, for joining us.
Thanks, G. I didn't expect that introduction. So who is that guy anyway?
That's you! We're very honored that you have graced us here on Kababayan Today. I can tell you're really a Filipino. Napaka-humble nyo.
Of course, yeah, we have to be humble.
Okay, so pag-usapan natin, saan ka sa Pilipinas ipinanganak?
Sampaloc, Manila, near Quezon City. The border there is still there. Yung, nanay and tatay ko, they're from Cagayan, Ilocos Sur, that type of thing. So I could explain that, but Tagalog ko konti na lang.
Konti na lang. So ilang taon ka nung nag-migrate ka dito sa Amerika?
I was 10.
10 years old, pero so, magaling pa rin mag-Tagalog.
Yep, I try hard. Yeah.
A lot of the younger generation that come here to America, hindi na sila nakakapagsalita.
Right.
What do you think has kept you really fluent with the Tagalog language?
Well, we tend not to forget where our roots came from. We could be living here as Filipino Americans, but you know, our legacy is back home. So we can't really forget where we came from. And that's typical where our youngsters today, the millennial age generation, I should say, tend not to be educated much more because we're very progressive in our country. So it's not to say that they're not being Filipino enough, but we're just saying that we need to continue the education piece of why we came to this country to begin with.
Okay, so Tito Tony, why don't you give me advice? How can I educate the younger generation about what it means to be Filipino?
First, we need to know about our history. That goes back centuries, of course. You know, it goes back to 1898 when we were colonized by, or previous to that, by Spain and then by the United States. So what happened after that became a lost generation, you might say. And so I think what we need to do is we continue to understand what happened and what we need to do to prevent that from happening again. And to, you know, just to get ourselves motivated about why do we need to live in this country and why we need to contribute to this United States of America.
Well, it is without a doubt that the contributions you have made to America as a Filipino, as we heard earlier, all these awards that you've been given. How did you find yourself getting into a military career?
Well, I come from a family of military men. I counted with my dad, my son, cousins, and you know, my lolo. We had about 225 years of service that started back in 1929. So we just followed that tradition. It's good citizenship. You know, we tend to forget why we serve. We serve because we want to protect both the Philippines and the United States. But at the same time, though, I think you know, the obligations of being a U.S. citizen here in the United States is very, very important. And we need to be represented properly.
Tama, di ba?
Very represented. And we have a difficulty of having a succession planning. You know,
what does that mean, having a succession planning?
Mentoring.
Mentoring.
Mentoring, we need to mentor the younger generation. Why do you want to serve, whether in public service, in the military, in government, education. and all of the other sectors that we have here in the United States. And we're a small group, about 4%, I think. But we can have a voice being a minority. And this country allows us to do that. So we have to take advantage of the opportunities. So we need to mentor our youngsters. Yourself can mentor someone to succeed you in your profession. And that's probably one of the factors that we have today. I was in a panel in Santa Clara where one of the complaints was we don't have enough people serving in the highest level of government. So, okay.
We have to change that.
We have to change that dynamic. We have to say, why?
Yeah, why is this happening?
We have the opportunity. I mean, we look behind you and say, who needs to come up?
Yeah.
How many more generals do we need to have? How many more politicians do we need to have?
Yes.
So,
kasama natin dito sa Kababayan Today si Major General Tony Taguba. Pagbalik natin dito sa Kababayan Today, pag-uusapan naman natin ang importansya ng caregiving. Wag po kayong aalis. Dito lang po yan sa Kababayan Today.